win again. Some think I'm a Viking or maybe a wizard. I feel like I'm both when I'm in the ring. Victory brings serenity. I give them a three-piece, that's for the three-peat, and then I leave with the Trinity. True baller got all the amenities. All the others just wanna be mini-me's. Haters mad when they...
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Closer's Formula. I am the King Closer, RJ Bates III, coming to you live today with a special guest. We've got the acoustic force, the social authority, Mr. Pat Hilton in the house. What's going on, Pat?
Hey, all I got to say is welcome to the revolution, people.
Welcome to the revolution. Oh, man. I love it. So, Pat, I wanted you to come on here today. You and I were on the phone last week, and you were just going on and on about your path to where you are today as an entrepreneur. And I was blown away because I've known you for 7, 8 years, 9 years at this point.
Yeah.
And you were telling me stuff that I never heard of. So listen, bro, I want to go all the way back. I mean, we're talking, let's go all the way back to the St. Louis days. All right.
Yeah. That's where it all came from, you know?
So you're from St. Louis. Take me back to the dive bars and all the stuff that was going on in your life back then. How did you get to where you are today?
So I think that when I grew up in St. Louis, it was a completely different era. The city was completely different when I was a kid than what it is now. Number one. Okay, so I was born in 83. So early 90s, you know, there was a music venue downtown on Laclede's Landing right by the river that separates Missouri and Illinois. There's the arch there. You could see the arch from the side of the street. There's a place that was called Mississippi Nights. And all the dopest people played at Mississippi Nights. I saw Kid Rock at Mississippi Nights, $5 Fridays. Eminem at Mississippi Nights, $5 Fridays. The band that opened for Kid Rock was Stained that night. And I'm telling you, like 4 or 5 months after that show, they were the biggest thing on the planet. 4 or 5 months after that Eminem show, he was the biggest thing on the planet. I was like, I don't know. I mean, he's definitely fast and funny. Like, I remember seeing it and I was like, oh my gosh, it's very explicit. But I mean, he's fast and he's funny. So I think it could work. And boy, I was like, whoa, it worked. And so I kind of came into this music scene and this culture in St. Louis that was the opposite of, you know, CBC High School, Christian Brothers High School that I was going to at the time. And in St. Louis, it's like a small town with a big heart. So it's the best people in the world, but it is a very small town. And with that comes the struggles of trying to do big stuff in a small town. And the local bands that would really open on the bottom of those shows that would help fill those venues were so good, but never got the big looks. There was a band called The Urge that never got the big looks. They kind of like were on Interscope. They did a couple albums on Interscope, but never got the pop. And then, you know, came Story of the Year, and they came out in like 2003, I think, and just absolutely were freaking unbelievable. And we used to watch them in high school. They were called Big Blue Monkey. And they would swing off the rafters they would tie strings to the rafters of that place and like the Galaxy and all these places downtown. And it's so sad because you can't even really go downtown in St. Louis anymore because it's just gotten so bad. Like the leadership is so bad in St. Louis City. It's tough to even go to blues games and stuff anymore. And anyway, the moral of the story was there was this great culture, but we weren't getting any looks. The Blues would lose every year in the first or second round. I mean, we couldn't get past the Red Wings or the Blackhawks or, I don't know, it was the Avalanche for a while. Then it's like the Sharks. It's like, dude, why does everybody beat us? I mean, we took the Boston Bruins before I was even born all the way to Game 7, and Bobby Orr scores a flying goal to beat us. Like, come on, man. Like, it's so hard. And as you know, just to even be a hockey fan in general, being a Blues fan is pretty difficult. And being a fan of that scene was difficult. And so I was like, dude, these guys I know, they went out and did it. You know, a couple of these guys got looks. If I'm going to make it, I need to leave the town. I have to get out of St. Louis. So I started traveling all over the country with my acoustic guitar, sleeping in my van, traveling all over and all over and all over and all over, playing to try and frickin' make it, because I knew when I played guitars, along with some of the people that I grew up with, I couldn't play electric guitar like they could. But I was funny, right? And I could write catchy stuff. And I'm like, dude, if you play the Eminem card, like that was the two things I remember about $5 Friday with Eminem. You know, he was funny.
Right.
You got funny and you're entertaining and you're fast. He was fast. I specifically remember being like, man, this guy, he's actually pretty quick. Like he's got something here. Like he's keeping me, like I can't catch him. Like sometimes you can catch somebody's flow. You can't catch Eminem's flow. Nobody knew it back then. Everybody knows that 25 years later. But when I saw it, I was like, yo, I mean, he's moving. Dude, you got to have moves. And I think that now, I did that for 15 years, traveled to California, lived in California, got booked full time in California. I got engaged to my hometown St. Louis sweetheart in California. And I think that was the moment where I was like, well, now I have full-time gigs in the most competitive area in the country, but I'm broke. What am I going to do to fix that now? Because I was supposed to be a rock star. Now I'm 35. You transport the kid that watched that was inspired by that grew up on watching Story of the Year at Warped Tour. The whole lawn in St. Louis is there to see him play. We didn't have, nobody else ever went out and did it but those guys.
Yeah.
We wanted to be like that.
So you end up in California. You said you got booked full-time gigs. Was that like
that meant I was singing at the bar every night of the week doing cover songs. So, I mean, I could sing Brown Eyed Girl with my eyes closed or Wagon Wheel with my eyes closed. And that's why I think when I started to come into the conference scene and want to like meet people that could help me, because that's what's all I was trying to do. And I'm playing for free and I was kind of funny. I was fast. I had some moves. It was so different than everyone else because everyone else wanted to be Tony Robbins. I wanted to be like Jack Black and help you with your marketing. And they all wanted to be Tony Robbins. And so what happened was I learned all this personal development and Tony Robbins-ish lessons by being around all these conferences and started to kind of develop the lingo that it would take to become someone that's a part of those shows. Because those shows are way more profitable. There's way better people there and it's a way better environment than where I was.
So, but let me ask you this: like, you were wanting to be a musician.
Yes.
At what point in time did you say, "Hey, I don't think being a musician is going to work. I need to be an entrepreneur"? Like, how did that come about?
So when I started making the funny tunes for entrepreneurs like Gary Vee and Grant Cardone, they started to share them, and then they started to say, "Hey." I would say, "Hey, Gary Vee, you're in town. You remember sharing my stuff? Why don't I come perform for free at your book signing?" So I have a picture of me and Gary Vee from 2016 with the date on it from Facebook with my Hennessy's La Jolla hat on because it was the only guy that would book me was this guy named Paul Hennessy in California. Good thing he owned 13 locations, right? So I was like playing every night of the week, which you would think back home if you're looking on, you're like, holy cow, Pat Hilton's like making it. But it's like, dude, I was getting $100, $200. It was all he could give me, by the way. I'm not dissing him, to play those gigs. And so we're barely paying the bills. Megan's working full time at a preschool. We have our babies on the way. So we got a first kid on the way. We're living in a $900 one-bedroom apartment in California with no space. Ella didn't even have her own room when she was born. But I was booked to perform on the lunch break at 10X Growth Con in like September of 2017. When she was born a couple months later. And I'm like, dude, this guy Cardone that's giving me this lunch break for making him this song is going to be the biggest opportunity of my life. I have to figure out how to become a business person at that event. Because it was the only opportunity I had ever had to meet anybody.
Which,
and so,
by the way, the reason why you got that gig is because you posted on social media and tagged Grant Cardone in the post, right?
So I made this funny tune for Grant. I posted it. And after I played the thing for Gary Vee, I played the thing for Gary Vee in the corner of the book signing in San Diego and asked him questions like, dude, how do I turn this into a real business? And he's like, dude, make songs for everybody. What if you sold, 10 or 15 songs a month? I mean, dude, wouldn't that be great? And in the back of my head, I was like, then I'm like a song slave. But I'm like, yeah. So I made one for Grant. His wife, Elena, saw it. They booked me to perform on the conference. And so I went and I played 2018 at Mandalay Bay at 10X2 And that's where I met Brad Lee and Tim Grover and Tim Story and, Ed Milet and all those people. And Russell Brunson probably was one of the most important ones too, is he was like, dude, you need an offer. If you got a good offer, then you're going to make it. And then Brad Lee was like, yeah, dude, you need to get on Zoom with people, record with them, chop it up. They get 3 videos a week. You post their podcast once a week, charge them $3,000 a month. You get 3 of those, and your wife doesn't have to work her shitty job, and you never have to sing Wonderwall again. And I was like, $3,000 a month? And he was like, do you think you're not worth it? And I was like, well, I never said that. You know what I mean? Like when Brad really tries to get you, don't let him walk all over you, folks. I'm like, whoa, Mr. Lee. I did not say I wasn't worth it. It's just, I never had an offer like that before, Cool, dude, make a website, make a funnel, put your video on there, say, click here to sign up. And I just did that. And I started filming people, started making videos, and it was freaking Corey Thompson was one of the first people to ever hire me. Then it was Propelio and Ryan Harper, and then it was this, and then it became RJ and Tim Harridge. Everyone was from Texas. The only people that were signing up for anything were from Texas. And I'm like, dude, we're out here in California. My client base is in Texas. We are from Missouri. And that was when I realized that season in California, those 5 seasons that I played out there had been very successful, and it was time to move on. But it wasn't before I still tried to play the frickin' bar gigs and got freaking arrested for a second DUI.
Right.
That was when I built the funnel real fast when that happened.
So that's honestly about the time that you and I met, right?
Yes, right about 2018.
Yeah.
September of 2018 was when I stopped drinking alcohol forever.
Because that's when you started showing up at the Propelio events. You came to Texas, and honestly, we met at a Propelio event.
Probably,
and we met through the Propelio channel and Corey Thompson and all that. Social media, it was the power of social media,
dude. All of this, anything that ever happened to me that got me out of those bar corners and on any stage or around Gary Vee or Grant Cardone or Tim, anything came from a video. I can easily stem it to a couple, 3 or 4 videos back then that are still on my pages that those guys took and uploaded. And then when I messaged them and said, hey, can I come perform? I was able to negotiate. I had the leverage in the negotiation because they already got 100,000 or 3 million views using me as the song man. Why wouldn't you use me for the song man at your event? Why don't I play when it doesn't even matter? That was my thought process. If you're going to close this guy, it has to be such a good deal for him because you have no record label, no following, no hit singles. Now, it's not negative. It's just the analysis of the situation at the time. Right. You are a bad bet. But if you go out there and you do it when nobody's looking and you get the footage and then 5, 6, 7, 8 years from now, you win and you got your 10X hat on and then you were a great bet, weren't you?
Yep.
At no risk to you, I'll come out there, I'll pay for my own stuff. I'll play, just get me the footage and give me that stage, dude. I'll be awesome. Here's the 3 songs I'm going to play so you know what I'm going to play before I even play it.
Pat, one of the questions I wanted to ask you was, I remember because you came to me and you said, hey, you've got Beat Kids Cancer. You've got this charity.
I called you from California like 6 months after that event.
And you said, I need to do charity work. Here's what I can do. Can you allow me to do this work? And then when I hear your story, I'm curious, how often when things happen to you, where someone that's listening to this right now goes, well, of course Pat made it. Elena Cardone, heard Pat's video and gave him a chance. That's a once in a million lifetime opportunity. But how many of these times did you kind of relentlessly put yourself out there and offer a solution and say, here's what I'll provide. Here's how I provide value.
I think that the thing that would separate me from the person that didn't get Elena and Grant's attention is the video that they didn't make that I made. That was the competitive difference that I had. And I say this all the time to people, even people that sign up for our service. And we talked about what I kind of want to have a community too, but I've steered away from doing it too soon because I know a lot of people jump the gun. They jump into coaching or whatever. We already run a coaching company essentially because we coach people on how to talk on camera. Right. But making people do a video and requiring a physical deliverable associated with your mastermind, most people don't do that. That accountability factor has to be there for everyone every single day. If you're not showing up every single day, and again, don't take it from me. I'm going to quote Alex Hormozy. Ooh, don't take it from me. Take it from Alex Hormozy, who said, if you're not doing 100K a month, which and a lot of people use that number, it's a big number. I don't think I've ever hit it before. I think I've gotten close, but I've never done 100K in a month. I've never done $1 million in a year. I've come close, but not in a year. We've done $1 million in sales, not in a year. Again, these are the things no one wants to say on a oh my gosh, you're such a failure, bro. I was broke on a street corner 11 years ago. It's about net profit too. How much are those people keeping? Okay. I'm not one of the ClickFunnels guys that didn't make any money because they just wanted the plaque. I could get the plaque tomorrow. I've been so busy making money, I keep forgetting to send it in for my little $500 fee and a little Loom video showing my merchant statements. You don't qualify for $1 million house in Murphy, Texas, across the street from the show that was Dallas house by not having freaking bank statements, people. I don't need the thing on the wall. I need the bank statements. I need the studio. I think people have this whole thing backwards. When I gave value to the Cardones, they gave me an opportunity. When I gave value to Gary Vaynerchuk, he gave me an opportunity. And with the opportunity came another opportunity to ask the right questions. The only way you're going to ask the right questions is if you're willing to admit where you actually are. Hey, Bradley, Tim Grover, Lewis House, and Russell Brunson, the freaking coolest people in this arena. I make $100 a night in bar corners, but I was able to negotiate with Grant to perform here today off this video. It's really, really funny. I'm going to show it to you. You know, boom. How do I make money off this? I was 100% vulnerable with those guys. 100%.
There you go.
That's why they were like, boom, 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 boom. Dude, build a funnel, put a little video on there, click now to buy, have them do what Brad said, boom, 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 boom. Like it was a whole conversation for like 3 straight minutes about what Pat needs to do. And then Sherry Hamilton from Cardone's team was like, all right. And I was like, okay, it's probably time to leave. Love you, Sherry. But still, she's got a job to do. I have times I could see the timer, like I was running out of time. I only had so much time. When you're in an opportunity to be vulnerable and you try to skew it to look bigger than you are, you don't get the right answers. People do that all the time at these masterminds. They want to be the coolest, biggest guy at the mastermind. It's like, bro, it's 7:45 in the morning. I have no idea who the fuck you are. And honestly, no one cares at the end of the day. What can I do for you is usually the thing I'm thinking. Not like, who's this guy? No one thinks that.
Right.
Like, exactly. I hope everyone in the audience can understand that. Like, no one in that room at 10X GrowthCon gave a shit that Pat Hilton was broke as a dick bag making $100 a night. No one cared. He's willing to do the work. He's got a skill. He's got a talent. He just needs to refine his offer. And even Brad was like, I mean, you're going to have to refine your presentation too. If you want to get paid $1 million, you got to show up like $1 million. You got friggin' holes in your shoes. What are those? I'm like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? But they were like my Men's Warehouse shoes from my wedding. We could barely afford our freaking wedding.
But, you know, I look at it and I go, in 2021, you were the host and I guess / MC
right
of Closers Olympics.
Yes.
Right? You were getting paid to do a job.
Yes.
But you looked at that as an opportunity. You were sitting there going, hey, I'm going to perform. You did a great job of hosting that. But immediately after the Closers Olympics, when I won that belt right there.
Yeah.
You called me and you were like, hey, I've got an offer for you and you're not doing this and I can help change your business. And that's how we started working together on my shorts and my reels and I didn't even have a TikTok. Like legitimately did not even have a TikTok account.
Right. We're actually almost, if you were to analyze how we are as creators, we started off as almost the complete opposite, because I'm a short form jingle writer.
Right.
And you were like a long form, I'm just going to turn the camera on and like call people, which that's not even really a podcast.
No.
This is where people need to understand that like being different is so good, because we could do these interviews all day. I could interview anybody in the country, anybody in the world, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of podcasts, or like you've done. And again, I take a lot of examples from you. Start a podcast, get people on screen, give them real scripts, record with them, build your own community, but bring in RJ and this person and Kyle Mallion's people first, Deal Champs people, all the coolest freaking people that you work with that built your career, Tim Harridge people, Ryan Harper, all these people that put you on, put them in one little pod and let everybody start to get creative and post videos and be successful. And then you'll get the business anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that the podcast format that you've done is different from everyone else, because you're literally just coaching live on the phone. You started that. No, I've never seen anybody do that until after you did it, by the way.
I think the two people that might have done it before me, not necessarily at the same level of which I took it to.
Like turning it into a show, right?
Yeah, Jerry Norton and King Kong. I think those two guys.
Jerry Norton, yeah, he's been around for a minute doing it.
Yeah.
And King Kong, I don't know him well, but I do like his shit. He's the money.
Yeah, for the money. Yeah.
But that's the cool thing. Like, there is a culture inside of every single entrepreneur movement. And so when you come into the space like I did, old school 10X, it was that event lineup. Grant Cardone was never able to duplicate that lineup's purity when it came to underground champions. I'm not saying flair and all of that kind of stuff. He did outdo it with all the pizzazz. But as far as a real dog lineup, 10X2 is the best one ever. Plain and simple. Everybody would agree with me that was at any of them. It was the best lineup. Milet, Frisella never did it again. He's just as big as anybody.
Yeah.
I think Frisella, in my opinion, made the mainstream like celebrity podcasting, while Grant Cardone made like the celebrity entrepreneur. Those two guys did it bigger than anybody. And Gary Vee is just an internet creator for the streets. He just does whatever he wants. He's like the freestyle rapper from the Bronx of the entrepreneur space. You know what I mean?
But Pat, I mean, you're talking about these other guys and how they kind of changed the game. They had like their own little style.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what you did. I mean,
yeah.
In your business, the way that you approached me was not, hey, I'm going to edit these videos for you.
No, because anybody can edit a video. Anybody can film a video.
It was, I'm going to work together and we are going to grow your social media. We're going to talk about how do we go viral? What's the point in going viral? When should we not attempt to go viral? And you really pushed me out of my comfort zone. I remember the first several videos that you gave me. I remember I looked at them, I watched them, and I called you and I was like, Pat, why would I post this? It sucks.
Well, yeah, because it was especially in the beginning, because you call people for so many hours.
Yeah.
And so we went through the first ones, and this was there was no AI tools back then, really, but you could like find certain words to either like delete in Descript or like keep in, or get like breath marks out or whatever, like hoo-has and uhs. Like it did kind of have that capability. And I just typed in like RJ Bates. And so then it would say, hello, this is RJ. Hello, this is RJ. And so that one thing, I'm like, all right, well, let's pull that out. That's our hook. He's taking calls. So hello, RJ, that's our hook. Introduce the avatar, right? We want people that are looking for phone calls. We want to, I was in my head, I'm like the Jerky Boys of real estate. Because I remember being a kid and hearing the Jerky Boys and shitting myself. And the language was so bad. I'm like, you can't play this for your mom and dad. But then when my mom and dad did hear it, they laughed too.
Yeah.
That's when you know something's funny. And that's kind of what I was getting from these calls. And I'm like, dude, he is getting dissed by some of these people. And like the first 7 or 8 videos I sent you were like you just getting crapped on.
Yeah.
And I think that was part of the thing. You're like, dude, I mean, I'm not closing anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I mean, I've sat here for about 6.5 hours and I haven't heard a close yet. So yeah, that sounds about right. No offense. I know you got the belt coming, but I mean, with what I'm listening to right now, I mean, you're like, well, what state are you in? And I'm like, I don't know, freaking Washington. And you're like, well, dude, you need to be in Ohio, or you need to be in here. And I'm like, all right, well, which one is that one? It's right. That's like day 36. So then I started targeting stuff where you closed and then just letting play stuff where you got dissed. And then we were able to kind of like mix and match. So it was almost like a game show of what's going to happen. Is it going to be good or bad or ugly? Is he going to close something? Are they going to yell at him and hang up? I remember one guy was just like, out of control.
Hey, he said he'd break my jaw.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to break your goddamn jaw. And I was like,
wow.
Whoa, crazy. But I remember the first time you gave me a video that went viral. It ended up with like 1.1 million views on TikTok. It was literally, how did you get my phone number? I told them, and he goes, you are the last person I would ever sell my house to.
Oh my God.
And it ended up with 1.1 million views, horrible comments, except my followers went from 0 to like 10,000.
See, there you go.
And then all of a sudden I started seeing positive comments on other videos. And then they were like, hey, this is inspiring, how you stick with it, how you don't give up when people are negative, how you're okay with people yelling at you. And it was like, hey, Pat, I think we're on to something here. No one ever shows the negative.
That was the first time you really ever saw someone getting clowned on a phone call in real estate.
Yeah. And it turned, you know what it turned into?
In that format.
It turned into, now my brand is that I'm the real, the raw, RJ will show anything. He'll go live. And I have to give you a lot of credit for that, man. You were the one that pushed me out of my comfort zone. I had done the 8-hour lives, but never shown a clip of the negative side of this in that 30-second to 1 minute. And you really pushed that. And I think you continue to do that with your clients across all industries.
Well, and I think that that's when you say, like, when did you really become an entrepreneur? Like, when I couldn't show up with a guitar anymore and have a guaranteed paycheck for freaking being ripped, I had to.
Right.
I had to become an entrepreneur because I'm like, well, they've disabled my lightsaber. You know what I mean? They disabled my lightsaber and the freaking Millennium Falcon's down. What am I going to do now?
But I mean, when you, the point in today's interview is, you know, we called it the unexpected path of entrepreneurship. I mean, Cassie and I, when we decided to become entrepreneurs, we had no idea what business we were going to run.
Right.
We just came up with one, and then it turned into, we became contractors and remodeling houses.
Yep.
And then got into real estate. You wanted to be a musician.
Yep.
When you moved to California, if someone told you, hey, 5, 6 years, 10 years from now, you're going to live in Texas and you're going to be editing people's videos for social media, I mean, you would have been like, what the fuck are you talking about?
No way. I would have been like, dude, we're going to be living in the Hollywood Hills.
Right. You're going to be like, I'm touring with Story of the Year. What are you talking about?
And then you realize that a lot of the people that were able to get those types of deals, and now I know this stuff because I understand a little bit more about acquisitions. These big labels are essentially acquiring equity in your brand. A band is a brand. And so when they come and they invest in your brand or your music or your record label comes in and this and that, look at Taylor Swift. She had to go re-record all the songs, so she owned the masters, then eventually bought all the masters back just recently for like however much money. Because a lot of people that have one hit or two hits, people call them one hit wonders. It's like, well, dude, we got what we needed out of this group. They had a hit, they toured, they made us a couple $1 million, and then we went into the next person.
Yep.
They toured, they made it, they did 2 albums, second one did okay, and then we're on to the next person. And that's how the music industry works. That is not a sustainable business.
No.
At all. You could be a hit one day and be broke as a joke the next day. I've seen it over and over and over again. And I've seen it over and over and over again in business. What I learned from real estate people, I remember sitting in one of those events or whatever, and somebody's up on the stage and they're like, yeah, so, I got 20 rentals and each rental pays me $500 a month and blah, 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 blah. And this is before I knew that like water heaters blow up and like roofs get hailed on and like all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, holy shit, he's making like $18,000 a month. It's like, I was like, whoa. And then and in my head, I'm like, well, if I apply Brad's formula to this, and I have 18 houses, RJ Bates, Carlos Reyes, Alex Ottewell, Carlotta Thompson, and they all pay me $3,000 a month. I'll make way more money than this dickhead doing videos in my house.
Yep.
But how am I going to find those people? And what I realized was, and I say this, it bothers my wife and stuff, but it's so true. What we sell is not like some lure that you can find at Bass Pro Shop for $20. What Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or you sell or me sell, it's not some kind of $100 thing that you play with for a couple days and then, you come back on 4th of July. It's like, where I'm from in Missouri, there's not much to do but drink and get high and fish and, go to Silver Dollar City and see a show. We're in the big leagues here in Dallas. This is not some kind of like small country town. It's the big leagues. There's power players here. And when you don't win it, you get fired. You got 3 tries to win it. You didn't win it. We're moving on to the next person. Got to close the deal here in Dallas. It's the big leagues. And I think even Dallas gets skirted a little bit. Because Dallas is just as cool as LA, way cooler than LA, but it's like LA. It's like, dude, they're burning you guys down. It's so not cool. So cheers to Dallas. But the moral of the story is what you think in your head of your skill set is different than what the marketplace is demanding from your skill set. And when those guys looked at what I did and they were like, dude, the first minute of your show where you told that story about how you picked up a guitar in St. Louis, Missouri, and people back home, they dream about moments like this. And when you're a kid with a guitar in a small town, this is the moment you work your whole life for. And I married my hometown sweetheart and my baby's at home. And here I am. And we were like, yeah. And I had my credit card out. And you didn't ask me for any kind of sale. Like Brad was like, she had her card out. She's like, whatever this guy's charging, I want to buy it. And you didn't sell us anything. So you need a video on a little funnel with a button that says, I'll do your videos.
But Pat, that's everybody in this industry.
Everybody.
Wait, I just did a video about you got to turn the damn lights on.
Yep.
If you're in a position right now where you're not getting results and you're not posting on social media every day and you're not doing video, then you're hurting yourself.
4 hours a day. That was the Hormozy thing. I probably went off on a rant. Hormozy said, if you're not making $100K a month, get on and advertise 4 hours every single day. Wake up in the morning from 8 to noon and advertise for 4 straight hours. Wake up the next day, advertise for 4 straight hours, and do that until you have $100K a month.
It's crazy to me.
When he says it, it's okay. But when we say it, sometimes people don't listen.
I know. It's crazy to me how many people join Titanium University. And when I onboard them, after the hour onboarding, then we open it up for a Q&A. And someone will raise their hand, and they'll be like, RJ, I've been watching your videos for years. And I'm so excited to be here. And I'm like, I have never seen this person's name before. They've never commented. They've never liked, but they've watched my videos. And now they chose to give me money. And
this is a really good topic I call this one the code breaker, the Chris Jericho code breaker, because everyone asks me, what's the ROI?
Yeah.
Well, how do I measure the ROI? If you're going to charge me $5,000, if you go to socialauthority.com or .ai right now, it's $5,000 for one video a day. Well, what's the ROI of that? That's a lot of money.
Yep.
Is it? Do you think you're not worth it? Do you think your company is worth getting beat by some idiot that's willing to pay $5,000 a month to get their videos edited and posted for them? How much is your time really worth? And how much confidence do you have that you can go out into the marketplace and close deals?
Yep.
Because when you really ask someone that, like, do you really even have a business? Let's get to what's the revenue? What's the net profit? You see all these guys online talking wealth, talking cash, driving their Rolls Royces. Great. I love that shit too. I remember when I first got into Carlos Reyes's Rolls Royce and I was like, ooh, the button closes the door. The button closes the fucking door. It's awesome. Dude, I love it. No one's hating on that here. How do I help people get there? Because I remember thinking, driving a Porsche and living in a nice house across the street from the Show Dallas house in Murphy's, fucking, that's impossible. Let's just pay the rent in Little Elm. Let's just get the Beat Kids Cancer community service done. Then they tried to deny me. The king closer let her have it. That was over with quick. It was like a 2 minutes and 10 seconds into the first round. That one was over. And so it's just like, the 10X theory from Grant Cardone is a very important lesson because you think that you can have all these things in your head. I didn't think it was necessarily impossible, but how I was going to get there was so delusional compared to what it really actually statistically is going to take to earn that. Revenue-wise, net profit-wise, what kind of team do I need? What kind of community do I need to build? What do I really need is the trust. Do people trust you? Not do they trust you when they're looking in your face. Do they trust you when they walk away and they're backstage with Pat Hilton talking about who's full of shit and who's not?
Yep.
Because I hear it all now. I've been in all the back rooms. I learned business by being in green rooms with business people. Some of their advice was great. Some of their advice wasn't so hot.
You want to know what?
Trust is everything.
You want to what?
And one video a day, you can't fake one video a day. When someone goes and scrolls through your stuff and you missed 6 months, well, what happened in those 6 months? Clearly you weren't making any money or you'd have been posting about it because you got a big mouth when you're doing a deal. Everybody knows. You all got big ass mouths when you're closing a deal. But when it comes to daily videos, you don't say anything. It's hilarious.
What stood out to me about you, Pat, was when you approached me about doing my social media, and you said it'll be. It started off with one video a day. We very quickly, 30 days in, I called you and I said, let's go to 2.
RJ was choking people out.
I was like, let's go to 2 a day.
He was like, send me location.
Yeah. So we went up to 2 videos a day. But I remember asking you, I was like, so you're going to do a video every single day? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, including Sundays? You're like, yeah. I'm like, including holidays? You're like, yeah. I'm like, Christmas, Thanksgiving. You're like, yeah.
Every day.
Every day. And I'm like, this is the most RJ type thing ever right here.
That's the way you beat him.
Exactly. I'm like,
that's how you beat them. I've beaten people for 15 years with a guitar and a van just by playing on Memorial Day and 4th of July and the night before Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving night, the day after Thanksgiving, the day after that, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day after Christmas. People go to the bar on Christmas night. They don't want to be around grandma anymore. They want to get drunk, especially when they're from St. Louis.
Do we think people don't scroll on social media on holidays?
All day now. That's all day now.
That's what I'm saying.
It's all day. And they're seeing someone else. Every time you're not posting, they're seeing somebody else. They're seeing somebody else. Who do I see on my page? I like Tom Krall a lot. I see Tom Krall. Again, I'm thinking of people I've never done business with Tom. Love him. Talked to him before, giving me recommendations, giving me value. Boom, but we message each other. But I see him all the time now because it knows he's clearly getting. He's going to stay on the platform if I keep showing him Tom Crawl. Nathan Payne. I think I've met him at events before. He's got some kind of thing he's doing. He's posting. And then it's like RJ. It's like our people. Like there's like, I see other people and then there's like, our people are just on repeat, dude. New stuff every day. Kyle Mallion went from his first event I did for him 3 years ago. 30 people were in Vegas and now there's 500 people showing up to learn how to buy a company between $1 and $5 million bucks.
Yep. And how
Nick Perry's in there. Nick Perry's in there.
But how does he get there? I mean, he gets there by turning the lights on and tell everybody knows what Kyle Mallion does now.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing is that he's getting people deals. Yep. You got a physical, statistical, measurable result by getting new people into your business, new people that want to be in your community, and now I even have helped. Like I said, like Kyle built that whole community. He could care less if he goes viral. It brings down his message rate. If he we could easily, folks, listen. If I wanted to juice all the metrics in our company, I told Shanae from RE Simply that because they like just started with us. And I'm like, dude, first couple months, I mean, you're going to take some shots. It's going to, we got 16 views. Hey, that's part of the deal. I still get 16 views sometimes. I do Donald Trump impression, I get 100. Does the Donald Trump impression bring me business or not? It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
None.
But Pat, I've told every single person that I've ever referred to you.
It's the ones that don't get a lot of views that get the deals.
Exactly. And I've also said this. Don't hire Pat unless you're willing to commit to it for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not committed to this. If you're just hoping that you're going to come in and then there's going to be this big boom, it's just not going to happen.
And you're not even going to be prepared for it. You are not prepared for that as a new creator.
Right. Unless
you're built for it.
Or
unless that you've got a business, you've got intake forms, you've got a client avatar, you've got an offer. In fact, you're going to like this. I just was sending this to the team before I got on. That's what we have now, onboarding questions. Here's our onboarding questions for video strategy. What do you do and what is your niche? What's your Instagram handle? What do you sell? What are your offers or products? Why do people buy from you? Who's your ideal customer? Write 10 dream results of your audience. These are questions. I'm going to send you actually this form in the chat.
Yeah.
These are good questions for you to potentially even ask your community people. Because again, if I'm going to do a community, I need to know when someone comes in how my video service is going to serve that person. Because I can't just sell them fluff. We sell a physical deliverable that you can look at. RJ Bates, Carlotta Thompson, this every day you can see boom, 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 boom. This guy's got a calendar. RJ's got a calendar. He's way ahead of us. He's doing long form and short form.
I love this. You just took on a Titanium University member, J.W. Epstein.
Yes.
J.W. is a wholesaler and a real estate investor in Amarillo, Texas.
Yep.
That is the only, like, he buys in the surrounding cities and counties, but mainly Amarillo is where he wants to do business.
Yep.
He hired you, and what I love that you've made him do is you're like, JW, who are you trying to attract? People that live in Amarillo. You want them to sell you their house. Go to the restaurant. Go to the car dealership. Go to the freaking zoo or whatever it is in Amarillo, Texas, and be like, hey, so I'm down here at Buddy's barbecue shop. I'm about to grab a bite to eat. If you've ever been to Buddy's and you need to sell a house, maybe you'll find me there. Come inside and ask for JW. And he goes inside, and I'm like, that's brilliant.
It's great. It's great. Not only is he's using the same thing, not only is he advertising an existing business that needs sales, whether it's Grant Cardone or Gary Vee or Jimmy's Barbecue or the King Club, it doesn't matter who's the customer or what already exists that has customers. Remember Grant Cardone 101, who's got my money? Well, it's not Grant. It's
Right.
the audience that Grant already has. He's got a packed stadium. You've never played for a packed stadium before, but you've been practicing for 15 years, 4 hours a night, every single night of the week. Every holiday I performed somewhere with my guitar. I'd get DJ stuff out and click on songs, whatever I got to do to get paid. I'll plug in Spotify. I don't care. No ego, just got to close a deal. It's Friday somewhere. On Tuesday, it's Friday somewhere. In the alcohol business, this is a great example. If you're an alcoholic, like I am, you're going to find booze, you're going to find weed, and you're going to find people that have it for free if you're really, really good.
Yep.
Hey, how about this? I'll play your song. You give me some weed and some booze and 100 bones. Come on, dog.
Yep.
It became too easy. The new challenge is, how do I help you be the venue? How do I help you be the brand? Because I was always reliant on Harpo's or Hennessy's or French Quarter or Alibi or whoever. But now I'm the venue. I'm the brand. And the more I can help someone be Monster or J Dubs or King Closer, the more I win. Or Kyle Mallion. Kyle Mallion just helped someone who isn't really even on Facebook, never posts anything. She's like I don't ever want to say her woman's age. She's a woman I know, but she's not trying to be an influencer or a coach or anything. She just bought a $5 million flower business, and she came into his event through the videos. She bought a $5 million flower business with $810,000 a year in net profit. The business has been around for over 25 years. She acquired it with other people's money, no money down.
Yep. I mean,
there's people out there doing deals because of the people that are putting their videos out there that are educational and informational and knowledgeable. And now people are like, oh my gosh, this type of a deal structure is possible. I can wholesale 5 houses a month from my house and raise my kids as a mom. Yep. Absolutely you can. I know you can. I've seen people do it.
Going back to the unexpected path, like when you and I started doing videos,
because you never wanted to be a coach, you just wanted deals.
I could have never anticipated what this was going to do for us.
Right.
We had zero. Well, I take that back. We had about $6,000 to $7,000 a month in recurring affiliate revenue coming in. It was all coming in from batch leads. Since then, we have been able to now partner up with Speed to Lead, Leadzolo, Property Leads, Investor Lift, REI SIF, Fund and Grow, Resimply. I mean, just company after company, easy REI closings. And all I have to do is continue doing what I was already doing, which is do deals. So actually do the business.
That's the key, by the way, everybody. When Pat had no business, he was broke. Pat has a business and an offer and a service and a physical studio now. He's doing better. You've got to build the business because the business will build you. But go ahead.
And I turn on the camera and I say, hey, guys, I just bought this lead from Speed to Lead. It cost me $29. I closed it. Here's the closing.
Yep.
Then I posted it on Investor Lift. I use Easy REI Closings as my transaction coordinator. I closed it at this title company. I use this hard money lender. I referred this to the end buyer. And then they all give me affiliate income. And now I have this stream of revenue that I never even anticipated would exist from affiliate partners. And all I'm doing is telling people this is how I'm already winning. This is how I'm already making a living. And I get paid even more from it. So when people ask, what's the ROI on Pat? I look at it and I go, honestly, if you're worried about that, you're thinking about this incorrectly. You have no idea what
I can't measure it. It's limitless for the right people. It just depends on if you fit that criteria. And that's what I was saying earlier about we don't sell like a $20 or $100 fishing lure. You know, I was at Bass Pro Shop in good old Branson, and I'm like, dude, it's no wonder why when I grew up here, I felt like I didn't fit in sometimes, because while I love all this stuff and I love the people, I feel like I'm jumping out of my skin Because it's like quiet, calm on the lake, drinking a good old Budweiser at 6 a.m. Like, I'm ready to freaking listen to Metallica and take on the world. You know what I mean? Where are we right now? There's no internet here. Like, dude, some of us are just freaking wired a certain way. And I think that now when I try and educate people, I need to understand that I have to pull them to that level. That's why the JW thing is such a good example. He's actually the first person we've ever done the little collective package for. And it's like, was a trial run. Like, I got it. I remember because he came in at the beginning of the month, and even payment wise, he like ran his card, but I set it to like hit at the end of the month so that by the end of I actually did it with Shanae too. By the end of the month, everything was filmed, edited, posted, boom, 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 boom. And then the payment hit.
Right.
So it's like we were already on freaking Mach 3, third round. I'm winning. This fight's over.
Well,
I think that's important. Everybody's so quick to get your cash and so slow to give the value, man. Just give them the damn videos and then send them the invoice.
And listen, Resimply, I love
They're
that
awesome.
company.
They're going to blow
incredible.
up. The AI thing's crazy.
Absolutely. And
It's
here's
crazy.
the thing. It's about the fact that they actually reached out to me about social media. And they said, hey, what do you recommend? And I said, you need to reach out to Pat. Like, you need to reach out to Pat. This is what I do. I gave them my perspective from a content creator.
Right.
Hey, this is what I recommend that you do. I think Shanae is going to be amazing.
She's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like,
And-
look at her clips on the microphone. Like, again, my job is to get assists. Here's a great hockey one for you hockey naders. So Alex Ovechkin just broke Wayne Gretzky's scoring record for goals. But Wayne Gretzky has the most points ever. And in fact, if I pull it up, NHL all-time points leaders, you'll see
will ever touch it.
no one's ever going to touch this, and I'm going to explain why. So all-time points leaders actually, all-time points actually is not Ovechkin. He's a number 11.
No, Ovechkin is number one on goals.
Number one on goals is Ovechkin, but he's number 11 in all-time points.
Yep.
Wayne Gretzky's number one, and the reason is because of his assists. His number of assists is 1,963 assists. The next person is 1,155. He's got 800 more assists or something like that. Not the best at math, I think. 700 or 800 more assists than the second guy.
Yeah.
And the second most goals of all time. So this is what you need to think about, why this even matters. If you can help other people score, you actually get points anyway.
Yep.
You get points for assists. This is what RJ's doing. Affiliate money, affiliate money, affiliate money. Why would I pay a title company or this or that and the other thing the whole fee when I'm bringing them 30 deals a year? Of course they're going to give me a cut.
People don't want to think about the fact that when they ask me, hey, what's like your profitability at Titanium Investments? And I'm like, I can't even really explain that to you because I don't have to buy my leads anymore. I'm like, I just turned on a camera and actually just did it live. And I did it for so many years that I started making so much money from that that now I get paid to buy my leads. The lead company is paying me
To use their leads.
to use the leads. And people just kind of laugh and they go, oh, well, no, I can't do that. And I'm like, yeah, you can.
Yeah,
I've
you
done
can.
it in the exact same office. I'm telling you who I've used to do it. Pat Hilton. He's right here. You can hire him. You just got to fucking pay every month.
And
do
the other
work.
thing is that's where people get scared, I think, with content, because content exposes the actual work that you do.
Yeah.
So if you're not doing any work, well, then there's really nothing to make content about because you don't do anything. And again, that might sound harsh, but I think when you really analyze, here's another Hormozy for you. Alex Hormozy said this. So listen, if you write down everything you do in the day, I'm guilty of it too. Write down everything you do in the day and minutes and seconds and everything, and you'll find all these holes and gaps of time that you waste. All of us do it. And when you're able to compress that whole thing down into work, and then maybe there's 3 hours you waste with the kids in the afternoon. It's not a waste being a parent, but you consider everything a waste when you get to a certain point that you're actually all the way in on this thing, because you're willing to work 20 hours a day. I was willing to build posters, book shows, I sent you a video from Henry Hudson's in Houston in 2008 that's still on YouTube. Flash Cassidy, the original group. We totally wanted to be story of the year, and we were pretty good. But we were willing to die to win. And that's why we were getting some looks. Nobody else was playing in Houston. No one even knew who we were that night. We came in and rocked the place. You can hear people cheering at the end like, whoa, these guys are good.
Now,
we didn't know anybody.
The other thing I want to talk about here is people need to understand that there's levels to this as well.
There are. And you got to be able to admit where you're at, too. That's a tough one for people.
Yeah. Someone asked me the other day, RJ, why do you put out videos every single day? Actually, funny enough, my son asked me.
Oh, really?
My son asked me the other day, he goes, are you going to stop at 1,000 days in a row? I said, why would I stop at 1,000 days in a row? And he said, because you made it to 1,000, take a day off. I said, no. I said, the videos are what have given us the life that we have right now. Do you understand that, son? I said, Justin Helms, Garrett Littleton worked for me from videos. Garrett Littleton has worked for me for 2.5 years, and he found me on TikTok.
Really? He's doing well?
Oh, bro, he's a killer.
Nice.
It's like, it's not just about the money. What in the world how could you ever quantify what the return on investment to a video is to have someone? He is 23 years old. He's worked for me for 2.5 years, and I love him, and he's made me tons and tons of money, and he shows up every single day. I'm like, I will never stop making the videos. No, I'll keep repeating myself until I'm blue in the face. The industry will always change. AI is going to come. There'll be something after AI. We keep making the videos. It won't stop. I actually made him Google it. What is the world record for most amount of days in a row that a video gets released? And I told him, I said, guess what? I'll beat it.
Well, dude, that's what it takes. I mean, it's almost too easy for me now to just skip the 15 years from when I was 20 till I was 35, singing in bars, making no money, and just go right to where I'm at today. But unfortunately, it's those 15 years that made it so easy for me to even run gear like I'm doing right now. Like you get to a point where it's just part of who you are. It's part of what you do. And it's also an accountability and a discipline thing from everyone who's onlookers. They look at that and they're like, gosh, you can measure that every single day this dude's just going to show up with something prepared to give you. That says a lot about how dedicated somebody is to their business. What's up,
It's what we do, Pat. You show up.
I got the AC units out here in the content hub. We're still doing the show, you know?
There you go. I love it.
There's a leak in
Hey,
the coil.
for those of you that are watching right now, do y'all have any questions for Pat before we let him go?
Also, I noticed that it's short on air return. So
Look at this. Pat's getting his AC repaired right now live.
Totally.
they would have to add a return to their.
Can you send me all of this on an email? Because I'm actually streaming live on YouTube right now.
Yes, sir.
This is amazing.
You should come say hi. Come say hi. We'll promote the AC Wizard. The AC Wizard shows up within
The AC
24
Wizard?
hours. Come on, man. Come on. The AC Wizard's here. Here, hop on the thing. Here, you can
The
see yourself
AC
on the
Wizard.
screen, right? Come on now. What?
Hey!
Home
AC
services.
Wizard.
We were talking about home services. There you go. Yeah, if you could email me that.
Yes, sir.
And then it's covered the warranty or whatever you guys need from me. I'll make sure that we get it done. Okay. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, dude. Hit me anytime. I think you got our number and stuff. So.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. If you need a water or whatever, grab one from the fridge.
Okay.
My man, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, whatever, right?
Pat, that's one of the greatest moments on one of my live streams ever right there.
There you go. The AC Wizard. We just gave him some love.
It reminded me of Carlos Reyes. I was live streaming with Carlos Reyes, and all of a sudden in the middle of the live stream, he goes, "Hey, RJ, hold on a second." And this guy comes in and he's like, "Yeah, man, it was great seeing you today. Yeah, we should totally go have dinner. We should do this." Like 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Hey, Carlos, there's like 150 people on here watching. Like,
hey, we're still actually on the show, Carlos."
Like, can we come back to the live stream, Carlos?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I got to make sure I can take care of this guy. Well, the other guy yesterday told me the whole AC unit was dead and it was going to be 11 grand. This guy's like, the coil just needs this.
There you go.
But the home warranty guys, we already say he's probably going to say something else than the other guy. So we got both wins. The AC Wizard has spoken. I'd rather fix a coil.
AC Wizard, I love it.
Hey, that's a nice little name. But I mean, yeah, dude, for anybody out there that's not making videos and posting every day, everyone else that you're going to be going up against, especially in the next 2 or 3 years, will be posting every day.
So
and you can tell the
that,
difference between who's really got the lingo and the business down and who doesn't based on that one measurable thing.
So speaking of posting every day, what do you make about what AI is doing to video right now?
I love it. So I think that AI is going to make it easier for you to move faster. So if you're someone who wants to be a creator and you're not a creator, this is going to create a lot of funny, silly stuff and a lot of stuff that looks real, but that isn't. So the world's going to get faker. And so the more you're able to be a real human that people can connect with and do deals with, the more you're going to win. This is going to help everybody in the business categories because an AI robot, an AI generated robot, we have been making these baby videos. We want to be the best. That's the one thing, the one breakthrough thing I've seen that everyone did first was these.
Yeah, where's my baby video?
I got one coming for the King Closer. We got it where the hat looked, they keep spelling tight. When you prompt it, like it gives you whatever you put in. Like I can't go and like edit it like Adobe Illustrator.
Right.
So then I have to tell it, well, titanium is that wrong. Boom, boom, boom. It's struggling with the word titanium. The robots are not perfect. People who think that AI is just going to make all your videos. You're going to get 1 million sales. You're going to get 1 million deals. Your robot does not have a social security number. It does not have a bank account. It does not qualify for an SBA loan or a hard money loan or qualify for anything. You have to be the person that uses those tools to get them to you. You still need to be the expert. You still need to be on video. Use whatever tools you want. Make comedy skits, generate ads. I made songs. I sent you some song I made at the airport just giving it a prompt. Bro, I prompted the thing like 70 something times to get that output. Like there were a ton of those before that. I'm walking around like, no, guitar solo sucks. You know, boom, 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 and then it would like change it and send me another one. There's so much opportunity with AI, but you have to get good at prompting and then you still got to get on the camera. Because now the people that can talk on camera are going to become even more rare.
Yeah.
It's going to become even more rare to have that communication skill that already everybody's already afraid of. They say public speaking's like the number one thing people are afraid of more than like drowning. Give me a break. Give me a microphone and I talk shit for 45 minutes. That's not scary at all. Nobody said I was going to be any good, but I'll do it.
Oh, I love it. Does baby AI version of RJ have a beard?
I think that we could probably add one.
I need the beard. All right. Next question before we hop off here, because I know you got your big
the AC Wizard.
AC Wizard. What's the best way that people can find out more about your offerings and reach out to you and connect?
So just go to socialauthority.ai. If you just go to socialauthority.ai, that is the new updated corporate enterprise level version of what I've created here. It started as Acoustic Force Media in the closet in California, and that is still the main company. But our new offer, our new results-driven packages are really transparent on that website. The cost, what you get, and we're launching the Social Authority Collective community, and it's exclusive to people that use our service, because anything I sell, I want to be able to measure a metric of it, or anything I invest or anything, I want to be able to measure. And I only do that because it's important. As someone with a background of not having any cash, I didn't care that I didn't have any money because I could easily measure what was in my hand, my $45. What am I going to get with my $45? $20 of gas, $20 of weed, and a $5 Diet Mountain Dew. You know, I can get 3 of them. Back in the day, you could get like 4 or 5 Diet Mountain Dews for $5, not anymore. But that's, hey, if you can budget with $45, you can budget with 45,000 or 450,000. And so, you know, even I'm a proud share owner of Turnus.
Yeah.
I'm the owner of this home. So all the things that people spent, the money that people spent over the last 3 or 4 years on Pat Hilton can easily, clearly be shown that all that money was put back into the future success of the communities that made him successful. What's the point of even having this house? It's not even for time management issues. I don't blame you. The only reason why I have this house is so I can record people, do masterminds, build the community. But I also think that by watching people like you who waited to do a community when other people jumped the gun, it's very important to make sure that like what you do and how you help people close deals is included in the community. There's got to be a deliverable.
What do
like
you
you're
think
giving
about,
people, I'm in your thing. You got documents and this and that and scripts and this and that and the formula and this whole thing. I'm like, oh my God, there's a lot of shit. I'm not watching any of this.
so this right here?
I just want to network.
Tyler's an OG first class TU member.
Nice.
He's building his YouTube channel. For those of you, if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe to Tyler's channel. He's saying he switched to 90% shorts. Almost all of your content up until really recently has been short form. So what do you think about Tyler switching to just shorts?
Dude, do them every day. I think that if that's what works for you, do it every day. Talk into the camera and post it every single day. And then if you can, try and film some kind of 20-minute episode every week. At least one a week. You know, I mean, I switched to that format. Even with our clients, it's so much easier for me to get good content out of people by just having a conversation with them. Not everybody's good at scripts. If you're good at scripts, the short form stuff is what closes deals anyway. You got to ask for the sale.
Absolutely. All right, Mr. Hilton, I've taken up an hour and 7 minutes.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
I appreciate you hopping on here.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
I mean, you left Afro Man out, but outside of that, I mean, you
guys can go watch Pat Hilton and Afro Man on YouTube. It lives forever. The greatest party in French Quarter history.
There you
ever.
Go. All right, guys, show Pat some love. Make sure you give this video a like. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate you, Pat.
Later, guys.